Welcome to Mobile Math, math lessons on the go. Today's learning goal: by the end of this lesson, I should be able to divide large positive numbers without the use of a calculator. So quick reminder, multiplication is a shortcut for repetitive addition. Division is a shortcut for repetitive subtraction. If you need to take a moment, pause the video here and have a look over of what division notation and what does it mean. So there are some cases on how to say a division problem, but we're going to jump right into this and start with some fairly large division questions. So 1012 divided by 44. So I'm asking how many 44s are there in 1012? So we're going to do this two techniques. We'll do the group subtraction technique and we'll do the long division technique. So I'll start with group subtraction. So if I want to take away groups of 44 from 1012, 10 groups of 44 would be 440. I can probably make the jump that 20 groups of 44 would be 880. So that's 20 groups of 40. So I'm going to subtract those away. So when I subtract, I'm going to have to borrow here. And I left with 132 left over. So I'll just erase my borrowing there. Now I have to know how, or figure out how many 44s fit into 132. This is significantly smaller. I'm a little more comfortable, and I can see that there are 3 groups of 44 that can be subtracted, and I'm left with no remainder. Well, it's a new term for us, but I have nothing at the end. So my total here is 23. If I come over and I look at the long division method, and remember this is the pattern method, the language is a little different, but let's try it. So I'm going to look at how many 44s fit into a 1. Well, none do. How many 44s fit into 10? None do. And how many 44s fit into 101? Now we can start the long division technique. So I can see that 2 groups of 44 fit into that 101. So I will put a 2 on top. And then I'm going to put an 88 down below. And I'm going to subtract that from the 101. And again, I might have to borrow a little here. And I am left with 13. Now remember, that isn't actually a 13. That's 13 groups of 10. But we don't tend to put that language into the long division solution. So now I'm going to bring this 2 down to fill in the last space, and then I have to figure out how many 44s fit into 132, and we already know that from the previous solution. That's 3 more, and we end up with the answer of 23 for both. Take a moment and look where things are showing up here. This 2 is really this 20. And this 3 is this 3 right here. So either method will work. I would suspect you probably should really get the group subtraction method under control before you delve into the long division. So let's look at how many 15s there are in 960. So if I do a group subtraction method, I know that 10 groups of 15 would be 150. So I can write those linked together. So if I doubled that, 20 groups would be 300. I might even be able to go a little higher if I double that one more time. 40 groups would be 600. So I could start with taking away 600 from the 960, which is 40 groups of 15. That leaves me with 360. I could then see here that I have 20 more groups of 15 gives me 300. And I have 60 left over. And then lastly, I have 4 groups of 15 to get me the 60. And that's a total of 60. 4 groups of 15 fit inside 960. From the long division approach, again, the language is a little different. How many 15s fit inside a 9? Well, none. How many 15s fit inside a 96? Okay, now we can start to actually figure this out. So we've got 6 groups of 15 fit inside 96, and that's a total of 90. And I have 6 left over. If I bring down the 0, how many groups of 15 fit inside a 60? We already know that answer is 4. And you'll notice I get the same value of 64 for both of those. Okay, we'll keep going with some large numbers. How many 18s are there in 2,844? Whew, this is going to be a big one, so let's get at it. I'm going to say there are 100 groups of 18 to start with for the group subtraction model. So I'm using some friendly numbers that I'm comfortable with. If I subtract these, I'm left with 1,044 left over. Now I can see pretty quickly I can't do another group of 100 because it's too small. So what I might do is 50 groups. So 50 groups would be 900, or half the original amount. So now when I subtract those, I'm down to 144, and now we're getting into some smaller numbers, and I can see that there are 8 groups of 18 and 144. So I'm left with 158 from my group subtraction. We'll try the long division method, and again, the language will be a little different. How many 18s fit inside a 2? None. How many 18s fit inside a 28? 1. So then I will subtract the 18 from 28, and I'm left with 10. I will bring down a 4. How many 18s fit into 104? I'll try 6. Let's see what happens with 6. That's 60, 48, and I am left with 108. Now you can see right here I have a problem. So 6 didn't work. So I'm trying to subtract too many from the 104. So I may have to change this to a 5. And then we have 90 here. So it is okay to make a mistake and then backtrack and erase. That's totally acceptable. So then I have to bring down the last 4 to join the 14 and create 144. And I know that is 8 groups of 18 for 158. And notice I get the same answer. So either method works. Find one that is good for you. Here we go. Last part. If you could press pause on the video and try the following. So could you find the quotient for the following? So if you could hit pause now, please. Okay, welcome back. Here we go. It's been a long one. I know these are challenging problems, so let's get through these quickly. How many 9s fit inside 216? I'm going to do this with the long division method. I know 2 9s for 18 will fit inside 21. Subtract. I'm left with 3. Bring the 6 down. Create a 36. How many 9s fit inside 36? 4 of them. So my first answer is 24. How many 14s fit inside 392? Again, I'm going to do this with a long division approach. I know that 2 groups of 14 for 28 will fit inside a 39. I subtract those, bring down the 2. How many 14s fit inside a 112? So I need 8 of those. So that is a 112 as well. So I have a final answer here of 28. And lastly, a big one, 112. How many 112s fit inside 4,704? I might do this one with, let's do long division one more time. So I'm going to look at 4 groups of 112 is 448. If I subtract those, I'm left with 22. Bring down the 4. How many groups of 112 fit into 224? That's 2. And voila, I am done. So thank you for watching. Please watch again and pause where you may have had difficulties, and good luck in your future math problems.